Hello, my friends in Ukraine. I'm very honored to do this day demo and got an invitation from my dear friend Victoria to participate in your great event. So thank you very much. And Ukraine is very deep in my heart, so it's a big pleasure to do this. Um, First of all, I want to show you some of my works because I want to explain what power art can have for us all to play a role in our daily life. It's not only all the bad things in life who are around us, but it can give us peace, it can give us hope, and it can give a lot of pleasure and fun. But the main thing in all my works is it gives us light. And if there's something I wish the Ukraine people, then it's light. So I want to show some works of myself to get you feel what all about this. And later on, I will give a demo of one of my latest works in Svalbard. I was traveling there. But first of all, I want to show you some of my works to give you a bit of the feeling of what I like and what power I myself um, do meet daily in meeting the nature, water and nature. Normally, I always make when I'm traveling uh, notes in my sketching book. It's a Saunders sketching book. I love this paper. And when traveling, I make these short notes of what I've seen or what I did capture with my iPhone. So this was very plein air. It was freezing outside, but it gave such an overwhelming feel that I decided to put it in my sketchbook. So these are some impressions of what nature all can give to us. It's a gift of God, I often say. So these are all quite quick notes. Maybe I spend half an hour at least, or a maximum on it. So this was a note of my last trip. I'll show you some more works. As I told you, I love the sea very much. And when I'm walking at the beach, I often make some photos or make some notes. I love the warm colors as well. And this is Quinacridone Deep Gold from Daniel Smith. I often love these subjects. This has a morning glow in the mist. This is a beach scene. I hope that all will be very good, be visible. Sometimes I prefer to make very green ones, and well, mist is in the weather great for the watercolorist, so it gives a lot of fun. And finally, I made this one for you to show you what kind of subjects I prefer. It's quite important to mention that when you have a contact and a love feeling with your subject, then it will be a great painting. So I personally I think it's very necessary to produce a good watercolor. So now I will show you a demo. It's a subject that touched me very, and well, let's go work. Well, here we go. As I told you before, I made sometimes little sketches of the beautiful landscapes I encounter. And well, let's try to make this in a bigger format. This is half sheet. It's Netherlads Watercolor 425 grams, and my reference photo will be here. So I start always my paintings with the sky, and for this purpose I will pre-wet it at first with a flat brush. I love these brushes. Because wetting before, it gives a very smooth and soft sky. Will show you my colors. These are the colors I will use mainly. These are all Daniel Smith. Paints Blue Gray, Alvaro's Caliente Gray, a little bit of duochrome green pearl for the glacier, because it's the subject is with the glacier with the icy blue, a little bit of yellow ochre, maybe a little bit of gray titanium, and lavender. I always love to use this color. So I've pre-wetted now my paper. I only have to wait a little. But I'll start with some Paints Blue Gray, maybe with a little hint of titanium gray. Actually, these are a bit of dirt colors, but I don't mind. Maybe do a little bit of blue in it, or lavender. Maybe that's better. So here is the sky. It was well, a bit of a misty day. -2 degrees, a deserted landscape, but magical. It was real magic to be there. So some of that feeling I want to make in this painting. Most of paintings are emotions, and what you want to achieve is put your emotions in the painting. I'll give it some more body. So it's representing the atmosphere only. A little hint of lavender. Lavender is a magic color because it's not only a nice blue color, blue purple, but you can mix it on a great way with burnt sienna light. And then you'll achieve warm grays. It's really great to work with these colors. I often use these colors. I made a sketch, only the main lines, because I love to draw from the photo. Okay, that's the sky. Maybe a little hint of blue in it. A little hint. Not too much. Maybe I'll lift it up some. make some more evidence of the sky. Some more drama in it. That's it. I think that watercolor is a very good medium to make subjects like this, because it's all in some misty world. I see here some mountains in the backyard. So this is all wet and wet. As long as your paper is wet, you can make use of it. So here's on in the background. And watercolors, as you know, dry always more light. So later when it will be dry, you'll have a lighter sky even. Because there's a very big difference in tonal values of the mountains and the sky. So in many cases I make even tonal pre-studies. It's working very, very fine. Preparing now some hills in the background. They all must have the magic atmosphere. Actually, it's only putting your emotion on the paper, the feeling you had with your subject. It was, I'll lift it up some more. Well, actually, the mountains I'm painting with Alvaro's Caliente Gray. It's a great color. It's a warm gray, and as I told you, you can mix it on a great way with lavender and even paint blue gray. So these mixes together give a very, very interesting dark color. Well, this part is still wet, but I don't mind, because it can give amazingly shapes. You see, the paper is quite rough, so I can use it to make side strokes. And then you can imagine some snow. So it's only fun to make use of it. And there's a real mountain coming uprising now. And mainly, or I always try to make the base, lower part, some deeper, because that will give a good contrast. And as long as my paper is still wet from the first layer, I can do this. Good. use some other, but all what's in the background has to be made with less pigment and less strong tones. I still make use of putting a darker color in my lavender because I love the transparency and so these colors are actually today my friends. Sad enough, there was at the beaches, this is a place where hundreds of years ago the Dutchmen came to hunt for whales. But it's also sad that we ruined our planet and catched all these beautiful animals. But what I wanted to tell you, even now you can find all plastic, so we were collecting all the rubbish at the beach and collected one big bag of plastics. It was all floating from all over the world here. But it's good that if people visit these rare parts of the world, that you also collect the rubbish and clean it up. I think that's very good. I wet this now because in snow you never like to have hard shapes. All is soft and all is all soft edges. Maybe here in the background a little of this. Okay. For this part, this lower part of the glacier, I love to use a little bit of the duochrome. It's like a mint color. You see, it's the icy blue. Actually, you use now all, it seems dirt colors on the palette, but I can use them very well because they are the mix of all the colors I used until now. Even will add, as I said before, I like to draw with my brush, not draw all the lines that I put on the paper, but it's lovely to draw with your brush because it's more spontaneous, and for me it works. Okay, so far so good. We'll add some mountains here. And again, I mix here the paint blue gray with the Alvaro's Caliente gray. These are good opposite colors. And again, I make use here of dry brush strokes. I would really like to be in the Ukraine now, because every day, even here in Holland, we will live with you and think of you, follow all the news. And as I told you before, it's deep in our hearts, because you are very, very brave people, very intelligent, very kind. So it's very, very close to our hearts. And this was the reason I love to do this for you and make this festival, this exhibition, a very special one. It's a heap hooray to the organizers of all this. And again, I use now the wet wash. And what always works very well is that if you want to have something in the background, you use lighter colors as in the foreground. It always worked to give your paintings more depth. Maybe too much snow, but I can always change it. As long as your paper is wet, you can do all you want. Unfortunate you cannot ask me questions now, but maybe it's always possible later on by email or Facebook or other things. And again, I love to use the lavender to make a pre-wash. I love watercolors who have different edges, different brush strokes, and you see this is all lost and found again. So soft and sharp edges. It makes your watercolor interesting and worth for have a good look at. Now I'll do this huge mountain. This should have more pigment. I don't pick up any more water because I think this will be okay. And I try to imagine the shape of the mountain. Look at my photo and try to imagine that I'm there again. For me, painting subjects, and I travel a lot in the world, is also a desire to be there at that moment. So painting can also mean that you put your desires on the paper. And if you can travel in real, like just in the corona pandemic, then you can pick up your brush and you can be everywhere you want. So actually, we are very lucky people. We can travel all we want. Okay, here at the background, it's more far away, so I use some lavender only. Yeah, okay. Well, I will not touch this anymore. I will leave it for a moment and I will start the amazing, interesting water here. So again, I will wet it, but I will take care not to touch here. And what I always love to do is take my flat brush and make the water some darker at the background. And once again, it's my big issue. Paint what you love to see or what you love to embrace. It is a big chance to put your emotions in the things that you love. Well, I'll use some blues. I often use the dirt colors of my palette, mix them with some other colors, and what you get with this, that it makes connection. And you see what I do now is that I create depth. I want to connect the upper part with the under part. I'll add some more caliente gray. Actually, it was Alvaro Castagnet who opened my eyes for the watercolors some 15 years ago. Until that time, I loved to do oil colors. But when I did meet that guy and did some master classes with him, I did realize that watercolor is so great to do. It really is. Well, I'll add now some blue, maybe a little yellow ochre. And of course, the main attraction of this part is the reflection of those gorgeous mountains. Well, I'll make some more warm gray here. The paper is still wet now. For this reason I take a flat brush and I want to have these edges very soft. Once again, I don't like okay. You see that I often clean my brush on my vest. I will profit from the wetness of my paper. See? This is making use of the paper who's still wet, and it gives lovely reflections. It will bring you the atmosphere as you feel it. Even then, I often put some more darks here. Okay, the same we'll do here. And of course, the colors are very essential even in paintings like these. It's also very good to keep the speed in your paintings. As you keep close to your emotions, you feel about it. The reason why I prefer 425 grams is that, well, it can have some more without bubbling, and it rarely disappoints. Well, the paper is still damp, and we will proceed with some side. Later on we can do it with some Chinese white as well. I will soften it here some more. Not too many whites. if you look at, maybe some of you have seen ever the Night Watch of Rembrandt. It's not only an amazing masterpiece, but if you look at the whites of the cuffs, no one cuff has the same white color. They're all different. So with the different tones, you can distinguish a very, very deep contrast and depth. And that's what you want. You want depth in your paintings. Okay, so far so good. I think I'll take the hairdryer because I want to make the rocks here, and it will take some time. First clean the edges, because if you blow too fast, then your drops will come on your watercolor. Well, here we are again after the using of the hairdryer. I added some darks here. If I oversee all this, then I decide to make another wash, because these whites are too white and I want to make some slight purple lavender-like little wash. So sometimes I decide to make it more things connecting. So I use a little of lavender. I want to lower a little that white. Very little. Sometimes when I feel that I must do or change some little things, then I simply do them. I want to catch the light blue more in it. And I can even make the reflection a little bit stronger. Only a little. Because they're quite important in the painting. And sometimes if I see that I have to make things a little stronger, then I'll do what I feel what I have to do. So now I see it's more in balance, and I'll use again my hairdryer. We'll make a little more blue here. because I want to make the focus on the middle of the painting. That's much better. Okay. Well, I'm quite happy with this underground, and it's now up to me to make the beautiful rocks, because they do give a very good depth and lovely feeling. So I start always, this is a bit of green, yellow ochre-like surface, and just as the mountains, I like to draw them from my photo, not too precise. You have to keep your radar on, and I like drawing with my brushes as well. I think that is very nice to make a lot of different techniques in your work. These are the details, but it's nice to paint like this. Well, actually it doesn't need to be done too precise. It's only the illusion that there are some rocks here, or even sometimes I am painting with half eyes closed. It's like if you dream yourself into the landscape, and to give the illusion that there are reflections, you can pull them downwards. I love to use a flat brush for this purpose. And I will add some more later on. When this has been dried up, you will see that you can add even more darks. It's always drying up. I'll mix it with a little gray. Rocks never have the same color. A little ochre. And again, at the base, that always works. So this is looking like a stone. So we can add a few more here to the right. Just a few ones. Here, a few ones. And this soon as I've done it. Even add some more. Just as said, it only goes about the atmosphere, the illusion. I use a little bit of clean water to make these edges soft, and you immediately will notice that it gives a lovely reflection on it. Not too much. And another big one. It's also nice to use dry brush strokes. And you make use of the, actually this paper has a good texture. When you move your brush sidewards, then you will get very nice brush strokes, not using too many water. Maybe some little part of the rocks. You see, I pre-wet it first, and the result is that you can create very nice soft reflections. And when this is still wet, I will profit of it. Make them darker, because all is very dependent of tonal values. This is a picture with a lot of tonal values. The darkest dark against the lightest light. So that makes this spot very interesting. Can even add still some more. So, okay. A little hint of yellow ochre. Well, actually, I have to do something about the under layer. It's all wheat, and what I love to do is covering this and splash with a solution of yellow ochre, maybe a bit of lavender, to make the illusion that there's wheat. We'll give it some more darks. Well, it's okay, but I will connect them some. Because it's all wheat and some more yellow ochre, maybe a little burnt sienna in it to warm it a little. This is a very interesting part of the picture, because it says a lot and it gives a lovely foreground. And believe me or not, I love things like this very much. So all is even using another lavender color, it all works. So you get now a combination of spontaneous watercoloring and from time to time I forget the picture and I create my own fantasy, because it's only about how do you let people feel the beautiness of all this. Well, some more darks here, all things that were floating. The good thing of doing brushes like this is that they have a very fine needle and you can make very accurate details, and well, it actually is doing the work by itself. So this is a nice finishing touch. Maybe some more darks here. I always like to put the darks more on the lower part, because what you are creating is depth. Even horizons, they're always more tonal at the upper than at the end. And even dry brushstrokes are very welcome to finish all this. So, here maybe I love to make this more dark. Reflections always have the influence on me that it gives reflection in yourself. So it's working amazing. Really. I should like to add some more. Well, there are maybe a few details I would like to add. And for this reason I take my Chinese white. It's always nice to do some birds here. Birds are never in the same direction, so they always have another posture. And maybe there's some bird here on the rock I like. Or a little ice here, and maybe even as a glitter some here. I often use this. Maybe some small details here on the glacier. And maybe I can add a little you see, sometimes dry brushstrokes are working great. Maybe one little detail, because these mountains are too similar, and for that reason I can go again with the brush over all this. The question is always when do you stop your work? Well, I think the answer is quite simple. I stop my work if I have the feel that I have to stop. But sometimes I think, whoa, this is really worth joining it. And this. So I think this, I'm happy with it. I think it's a good impression of what I wanted to show you. I hope that you enjoyed, and I really wish you all a good and light and bright future. Thank you so much.